Okay, let's talk about it. That flight to Korea, depending on where you're leaving from, it could be anywhere from 12 to 16 plus hours. And that is a long time to be stuck on a plane with strangers, crying babies, airplane food, and who knows what else. So today, I'm sharing my personal survival guide for getting through that flight like a pro. So let's get into it. So, first off, let's start with the basics. You should arrive at the airport at least 3 hours before. Now, I know this sounds early, but for international flights, you need to make sure you give yourself that extra time to get through TSA, immigration, and just in case you are flagged for a random check. And believe me, this happens more with international flights than other flights. So, you want to make sure that you don't have any issues and miss your dream vacation. You also want to make sure that you check in 24 hours ahead of time for your flight. Now, if you're like me, you need to set several alarms so you don't mess this up. You also want to double check that your passport and visa are all that you need for the specific country you're going to. And if they require any other documents, you want to make sure you get those, put them in a travel folder or digital wallet. So I know we love to look cute, and airport outfits are a thing, but crop tops and tight jeans are not going to feel very cute after a 14-hour flight. So I suggest you wear a nice, breathable, that stretchable cotton shirt. And I like to get these oversized just because it gives you a little bit more room while you're on the plane. Things that fit closely do, for a lot of people, start to feel really uncomfortable the longer you're on the plane. And then I know I said tight jeans are not a thing, but I prefer some really good stretchy leggings. Jogging pants are great, but as long as you have something with pockets, you're going to be good. This is traditionally my airport outfit, and I'll throw a lightweight hoodie on top of it, plus a jean jacket because it does get really cold on planes, even in the summertime. So, in my trusty backpack, this is everything that I usually carry with me on the plane. And this is usually packed to the brim. So the first thing that I have in here is a water bottle, and this is completely empty. It doesn't really matter what type of water bottle you have, but I try to bring the biggest one that I can because once I get through security, I fill this up and then I have plenty of water. Plus, you're going to get water on the plane. I don't particularly like plain water. I feel like it's better to get filtered water. In the airport or buy a bottle of water, which sometimes I do and then fill this up. But sometimes airplane water, and unless it's in a bottle and the ice is not cleaned well, so it's always best to bring your own water. For when I am going through security, which is for me a necessity because I'm a bit of a germaphobe, I packed several pairs of extra socks. And these are usually socks that are old and worn. And I will wear two pairs of socks through security. And then once I have to take off my shoes, whatever socks that I'm wearing, again, a pair that are worn out and old, I will just throw these away. In addition, I got these long pair of compression socks. Now, compression socks are really important for long haul flights, especially if you have any foot problems. So, just depending on how I feel, I'll put on a long pair or a short pair after I have gone through security because by this time you've probably stood in line and walked a lot already, and then you're about to be on a really long flight. Um, Another key essential that I have And I usually do have these on when I get to the airport. I love noise canceling headphones. Um, and nowadays you can find a really good pair of headphones for fairly cheap, but I also like to keep an extra pair of these in my bag. After wearing headphones for like 5, 6 hours, my ears do start to hurt. No, I've never found a pair of headphones um, that have not hurt after 6 hours. So if you have a suggestion, please let me know. But what I typically do is I'll pop these in after 6 hours. Um, and I find that because they're nestled in my ear, it is a lot easier to sleep with a pair of these on versus a pair of these. But I also find that it's really great to start off with these, especially on long haul flights, because if you have a chatty person next to you and you're not interested in talking, whether you're watching something or not, if people see you with this on, they tend not to be so chatty. Versus if you're wearing this, people will just start talking to you, even if they can hear your music or not. So both of these are really essential for us ghetto introverts. So I also will pack a little bag like this, and this will have like all the main things that I need on the plane. Starting with hand sanitizer, I tend to wipe down everything as soon as I get on the plane, and this is why it's essential for you to check in as soon as possible, because if you can get on the plane earlier, you can go ahead and wipe down your area and not have to worry about anybody who's sitting behind you or beside you being irritated by the fact that you're wiping things down. Have tissues. There are also wipes in here. I keep my lip balm in here, and I have several different kinds. This is more of a gloss. This is a tinted balm. Um, then I have some lotion in here. Um, just your hands are going to get dry being on the plane so long, so this just helps with that. Then I have a small first aid kit, band-aids, Neosporin, all that good stuff. A lovely mask, because you will find on the long haul flights there are a lot of people coughing. Mostly it's because of the dry air on the plane, but better safe than sorry. You don't want to get to Korea and be sick. Then for people who wear glasses, I have several of these all over my bag, but my favorite one kind of lives in here when I'm traveling. And then I have this tin, and it just has mints and lodgings and stuff like that. Because again, the air on the plane is so dry, your throat may get sore, it may get scratchy just because of the dry air. So you want to make sure you stay hydrated and your throat and everything stays moist. For people who are nervous flyers, I've had this for about 5, 6 years. It's just a nice, simple stress ball. So when the flight is taken off, I'll usually pop a piece of gum or a mint in my mouth to help with the ear popping. The headphones help with that too. But I find, because takeoff and landing tends to be very stressful for me, that something like this relieves that tension. And also, this is just a really good thing to have when you're on the plane. If you're by the window and you can't get up as much, this is a really great tool to have to just exercise your hands. And sometimes I will also rub it or roll it in between my forearms and roll it on my leg and things like that, just to get the circulation, keep that up. Because if you're in the middle seat or by the window, sometimes it can be really hard to get up, but you want to make sure that you are healthy on the plane, and all that jazz. So the next thing that I have is a neck pillow. Now, there are lots of different neck pillows. I don't recommend a certain kind because I can't really use a neck pillow, the traditional ones, very well. But I do really like this one because you can put it on your neck any way you want to, and it just slides in like this. But what I also do is I tend to like put this in between my arm, and I'll lay on my arm. Um because so I just prefer this one because it is very versatile. I've had this for a number of years. It's probably time to get a new one. But what I really like about this neck pillow, um, it actually has a massager in it and it's battery operated. And because of that, it would be really easy to just add some extra stuffing in here. Um, so I really do like this neck pillow because it has that massager. And for a long haul flight, that does come in handy. And then the fact that this is just so adjustable, because I find that traditional neck pillows don't fit people of my stature. Next up, I have my toiletry kit. It has a toothbrush in here, bamboo toothbrush. I don't use any plastic. Then we have our deodorant, and very important, um, toothbrush tablets. I specifically love the Hello brand of toothpaste tablets, but the you can get these in almost any brand now. They also make, not Hello, but a couple of other companies make the little sheets that you can just put in your mouth and dissolve into toothpaste. So those are really good things to just have on the flight with you, and you can get up and go to the bathroom and brush your teeth very easily, or you can do this once you get to Korea, or if you have a layover, this is really great too. Next up, I have this wonderful fan. Although it can be really cool on planes sometimes, depending on the plane and how long you are on the plane, it does kind of get stuffy. So I like this particular fan because it just has this little spot right here for your neck and it fits very nicely. It has several settings, and then these fans you can just adjust however you want it. This is not very loud. Also used this when I was in Korea because I went in the summertime, which is probably not the best time to go unless you like extreme heat. I am not a big sleep mask person, but I do find sometimes on long haul flights that I just want to block out the light. So I do have this just really standard um eye mask. Having something to block out the light, especially when other people wake up and they're moving around, is key. I just tend to pull my hoodie down. Next up, we have this really great device that I found on Amazon. Now, in here, you fill this up with water. When you go through TSA, this needs to be empty. And then I fill this up with filtered water. You can either do this on the plane or do it once you land, but I like to do it on the plane because my eyes get really dry. And then you turn it on and it just missed. And honestly, this is really good even when you're not on a plane. If you find that you have really dry eyes, I don't put it directly up to my eye, but I do put it like really close. I've had this for 3 years and like I love using this on the plane. Sometimes the stewardess will come up to you just to see what it is because it does release a lot of mist. Um, but generally, they're very accommodating. Now, if you are on a flight and a stewardess asks you to put this up, please don't get in trouble. Just put it up. It's not that big of a deal. You can do this once you get off the plane. Um, And this also goes with the last thing, or one of the last things that's in the bag, a skincare kit. So I am an elf girly, so I just get their mini skincare kits and pop this in my bag whenever I'm traveling because these products work really good on my skin. Elf products are really good for most skin types, which is something you can't say about all brands. So I really love that about this, but it's also cruelty free and vegan and all that good stuff. But comes in a little kit, and I will just take this out of the box and just drop it in my bag. The most important thing that I keep in my bag that is a must have is a power bank. Now, this particular bag and a lot of suitcases have the accessory here so that you can put your power bank in here and charge your phone from here. But TSA has started to crack down. So any type of lithium, anything that is a part of your suitcase, if it is not going on the plane with you, if it's not a carry on, it has to be disconnected. And I don't have them hooked up in here anymore because I have been to the airport a few times where they asked me to disconnect it. So it's just best to make sure that this is disconnected. Once you get on the plane, you can reconnect it. It's not a big deal. But now I just keep everything completely separated. But if for whatever reason I forgot to charge something the night before, which does happen a lot, that will run out before my flight is over. And you want to make sure that you do not run out of power before you land, actually before you get to your hotel or your Airbnb, because then navigating wherever you're at is going to be very difficult. And boom, you're officially survived the flight to South Korea. Now go grab that T-Money card or Wild Pass, find your Airbnb, and get ready to live your best soul life. Let me know your flight essentials in the comments below. What do you swear by for long flights? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join me next time as we explore Korea one adventure at a time.